it had a little bit of here and there kind of critiquing.
It was everywhere.
It was everywhere. I don't know. It's a good story, but there was just something wrong with it.
There was a couple things wrong with it.
There's a couple things wrong with it.
Yeah. What's up, Geek Gang? Again, I am Lainey.
And I am Jay.
What are we talking about, Jay?
We're going to be talking about Rebel Moon. Very interesting.
Is it though? I'm okay. No. There's good and bad about it.
There's good and bad about it. But you're going to hear what we think about it. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get it. The story. I think the story was like any other story. I mean, there was just so many things that was wrong with the story, and it just seemed like a movie that I already watched. Mm-hmm. Justice League. You know what I mean? It's like something bad happened to this person, or they encountered something like really challenging, and they say like, yo, let's go get some people who can help us. Let's go. They get these bunch of people and they're ready to fight. It's just the same thing, and it don't seem original. It's not original. Okay. Just for one. And for the thing about the story as well is that they introduced these characters in the movie, and how badass they were and everything, and then after a while they just toss them aside. You know nothing about the individual. Correct. It was just lame, even though each of these characters had really strong background. Their shit was really good, but you don't know what they're good at. You get what I'm saying? So the story was
I think you said it. I don't really need to say any more than that. I think the only thing I would say is that if you boil down to it, a lot of stories has the same or like a core DNA to it, right? And it's about that director to bring over something new a little bit so that the twist feels organic and feels new to the audience. It doesn't. Like, you nailed it. It's Justice League in space.
Justice League.
That's it.
Exactly.
Okay, and obviously they said it was somewhat of a reference of Star Wars. You can clearly see that, with the exception of like maybe the princess, and instead of the princess that you have a farmer, hardworking farmer girl. That's about it. There's really nothing to make it its own other than the visual effects, which we'll talk about later. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, basically, and for one, the main villain. What's his name? Ed Skrein.
I don't give a shit about
Ed Skrein. Ed Skrein as Atticus. He just didn't seem like someone I should be like scared of. This villain wasn't doing anything for me because it's like he is doing most of the killing. He just once he wields that walking stick, that's a wrap. Probably have him as this individual who is not in the movie, but he's in the background and he's kind of giving orders. He's always on these ventures, meeting these people, killing them with the stick, and that's a wrap. There's no backstory to him. There's nothing.
So I think in my thought process of that, I thought he was just overly evil for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like them trying to tell a story to your point about him as a character. It was like, here he is. He's gonna cane the shit out of people in their heads and facilitate the way that his subordinates act, the way they acted towards the people on that moon. That was questionable ethics at best. Okay, I didn't. At this point, I didn't feel like I was feeling like I was fancy. I felt like I was in a drama, and it just.
The story just wasn't coordinated as much. And at the end of the movie we had Ray Fisher's Blood Axe. He seemed interesting. He seemed interesting. He seemed like someone who was okay. Let's work with him, and they killed him.
They killed his ass real quick.
Yeah, because I have no attachments to any of the characters. And another person who seemed interesting was Stasner. That's the guy that they went to the farm and he rode the bird horse looking thing.
Yes, the hippogriff.
His thing looks interesting, and once they showed him, you don't see him anymore. That's a wrap. You know what I mean? That was provoking. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that at the very least they could have gone into depth with a couple of them, maybe not everybody, because it was an ensemble cast at this point.
Yeah.
But because they literally just like, hey, here I am, and then once
put him out of the way.
Yeah, very quickly. So you didn't really have anything to hang up on other than the main character, which is fine if it's about solely the main character.
Yeah.
And if you don't have an ensemble cast. But you have an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
So,
definitely. Yeah. You know, for me, I'd give the story about 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 for me. Story.
So honestly, the acting wasn't that bad. I wasn't that bothered by it.
You know, the only thing that I can say about the acting, which was bad to me, was Sofia Botella's Cora character. She always made this wild speech, and you know, she just her character and the speech just didn't do anything for me, and it didn't like encourage me to It don't seem like her speeches were encourageable enough. To bring these people together and be like, oh shit, let's go, let's get it.
Yeah.
It's just this lame ass talking, and she's just doing these speeches, and
it was a lot of them.
It was a lot of speeches.
Yeah, it wasn't even like it was 1, 2. It was almost every time that she got a new character, we knew the speech was coming. We were just like, she's about to say that.
Yeah, they want to win them. She's about to win them over.
What a speech.
Yeah, so her character, the story, and she felt bland to me. For some reason. I don't know much about this character as well, or maybe the backstories kind of give you that much, but otherwise I don't feel anything for her.
I think for me, I think that they did give you a little bit of backstory with her.
They did. I mean, with the flashback scenes and everything, which Snyder is always good at.
Yes.
But
even with the over reliance of slow mo,
I never had any attachments with her though.
Okay, that's so you didn't care about her.
Yeah.
Yep.
I care about her.
I can agree with that too. But going back to acting, what's your grade?
My grade is overall. I think I'd give it a 6. Why is because Ray Fisher's Blood Axe was fairly good. Charlie Hunnam was there. Yeah. Hanan, whatever his name is. He was in it, but you never see anything much of him. The robot, Anthony Hopkins' character, the robot, he seemed like he is doing some sort of...
I thought he was going to be a main character. And then we saw him at the beginning. And then after that...
acting on human and shit.
We was like, we ain't see him.
Yeah, he was acting on human. Some mud was like...
Facts.
And he was like wiping off the mud.
Facts. And I thought he was going to go Terminator on him.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I need you to go Terminator.
Yeah, so I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
7.
7.
7. No, that's 7. Okay, 7. 6.5. 7. Oh, this is where you got your movie's worth.
This is where I can definitely respect Snyder at, and I'm not a Snyder fan. I believe he is very good visually, and his action scenes are on point.
Yes,
always on point.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
Yes,
I love his action scenes, and especially that part where Cora was in the barn and she got attacked by the soldiers and everything. And she was fighting with the gun and flipping over dudes and shoot them in the head and all that.
I'm glad that shit was visceral because it needs to be.
Them slow motions, bro. Snyder was killing you with them slow motions.
I thought you were about to say like you loved it.
I mean, there were certain parts of slow motion that I was like, oh shit, but it was getting too much.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? And I was like, nah, you could do it with less.
We are so in sync on this movie. Because sometimes I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah. But yes, the action, I thought the fight choreography was really well executed, no matter who was fighting.
Yeah.
And it just left you like, yes, I felt, not that it was stakes, but I felt it was visceral.
Yeah.
And I love a visceral action sequence.
Yeah.
So for that, yes. And agreed upon, you're getting slow.
Sure. If they're falling, it take about 20 minutes. And you know what? It's so funny because there was a part in the movie where it seemed like 300 when she was running, and you see dudes like flying elsewhere, and she's like running, and you would just see she run really fast with the gun, and she just slow down. I'm like, yo, that's like from 300. I know that shot.
There was things that didn't even need to be slow-mo, and he still did it anyway. So it's just like, yo, bro, get off of it. We know you are for your slow-mo. Make it make sense, and we will be aboard with it.
Yeah,
so,
definitely. But for the action, I can give it an 8.
Yes.
I'll give it an 8.
Okay. Yes, solid 8.
Solid 8. Yeah. Oh man, visual effects is fucking superb. Masterpiece. I admire Snyder for his visual effects. As I say, Snyder is a very visual director. If he has a group of people that writes good, he can make very jaw-dropping movies that can excite me. Most of his movies just don't make sense story-wise, but however, his visual effects is fire.
Yeah.
Fire. One of the things that I liked, and mark you, there are certain points of the movie that had poor visual effects.
I don't feel like there was a lot though.
There wasn't a lot, but there was one point where I think when they met up with Blood Axe and the group, it just seemed like it seemed like a green screen to me.
Okay.
That part where Tarak, the dude with the bird, that portion of the movie was really good. The visual effects of how he jumped on the bird, all that shit.
That he did Harry Potter.
Yeah, and that other scene where with Nemesis and the spider villain, that scene was beautiful scene, man. And that villain could have been a whole entire portion of a movie or another scene of a movie that could be embraced in that whole entire movie itself.
The Spider Girl.
The Spider, yeah.
Yeah.
It could have been that scene or that villain could have been a major part of the movie itself.
That character design triggered my arachnophobia.
Oh,
okay, that character design was so good. It legitimately was like, I felt like Liz looking around, like, all right, we ain't got no spies around. Okay, good. Because to your point, the character designs itself of the aliens, that was superb.
Yeah,
it was varied and superb, and that I was like, I want to see more of those and give me more characterization out of them. Okay?
Yeah.
Not the fact that you're introducing them to be killed. Because that's what they were. You were just introducing these characters to be killed. But to your point of what we're talking about, the visual effects for the most part to me were stunning.
Super, yeah.
Stunning. And if that alone, if you could even make a film for him and you don't have any dialogue and you just have it off of that,
yeah, trust me,
you might have a better film.
Yeah, man.
So I don't know, but I'm gonna give the visual effects 9 out of 10. I thought it was pretty.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would give it 9. I would give it 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Just because of certainly the things that was in the movie that I didn't. I was like, oh, that's a green screen. It was, whatever. And they were trying to make this top tier like a Star Wars movie. Okay, but the visual effects, I tell you, it is good,
yeah,
but not great.
Okay.
All right, that's it. The entire movie I'd probably grade it at a 5.5 out of 10.
My man.
You know, it could have been better. The storyline itself could have been better. It was just not original for me.
If you, the last two things we talked about saved it for just being a 5.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Because if those were floundering, this is a nothing burger and dead on arrival.
Yeah.
So if you want to see visual effects and great action scenes, yes, partake in it. You got Netflix. You got some time right now. But if you're looking for like acting, if you're really looking for like a really great story, let's hope part 2 is better.
I hope part 2 gets better because I'm practically excited to see the other version of it.
Whatever.
I'm a little bit excited to see. I just want to see exactly where everything goes, because at the end the story kind of pivot to the main villain in this movie, and it seems like it's going to have a pretty much exciting role in the next movie to come. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of excited to see the next one.